Marvin Banker, and not just a wanker. He's the best. This neighborhood banker has one request. You have fun as you watch this video. Thumbs up and like, hit subscribe, and go.
Your friendly neighborhood banker here, coming to you to review Spunky Todd, the Psychic Boy. This was actually written and illustrated by Brian Michael Bendis. At the recording of this video, this is 2022, and I'm taking you back to the Brian Michael Bendis writing and art of 1992. So this book is pretty old, and man, you're going to see some interesting stuff from a guy a lot of you may have strong opinions about. Now, for those of you not familiar with Brian Michael Bendis, this guy is famous for creating characters like, I don't know, Jessica Jones, Miles Morales. For those of you who read his new Avengers run, you might remember Bendis and think of him as an excellent writer with very interesting stories. For those of you who have read his more recent Superman work, you may have a very different opinion. But one thing that's really cool to sum up part of the experience of this is clearly written by an immense comic fan. So this is Brian Michael Bendis, the comic book fan. He drops things in here about Fantastic Four, Batman, X-Men, Stan Lee. So it's cool to see someone, before they're famous for writing comics, to reference and do homages to other comic people. So that's kind of fun. So let's flip this open. And right away, we got something Bendis is very famous for. Words. Lots and lots of words. See right there. Copyright 1992. So just kind of funny opening up a... even back in 1992, you can flip open a Bendis book and see a whole lot of text going on the page. But it's really fun to journey through this and see what's the same or similar and what's very different. And look at this. Remember, as you go through this, this is all illustrated by him. This is a cool page. That Spunky in the background, and this guy is his own creation. It's really cool to look at. Check this out. He's basically, Spunky Todd gets these psychic powers, and he actually gets the ability to listen and hear the thoughts of women. And this is actually a good bit of, I think this is predating that Mel Gibson movie, What Women Want, I think it's called. So, kind of cool. He was a little bit ahead of his time, I guess, in some ways. So, he has this funny thing where this guy, Spunky Todd, is talking about the strangest thing that happened to him on his 17th birthday. I never saw who did it. Never saw it coming. Creator's note. This panel is not a ripoff. It's an homage. There's a difference, really, I swear. I think it's cool that in 1992... Bendis is talking about homages being ripoffs. I think that's really cute. And, I mean, come on. How many times are we going to see Todd McFarlane's Amazing Spider-Man 300 being quote-unquote homage? It's just ripped off. And I think it's cool that even back in 92, people are talking about ripping off being called homages. So that's kind of interesting for me. And we get this really cool page where he starts hearing the thoughts of all these women, and you get these funny things he's hearing from different women like, oh, Oprah is such a goddess, or I think I'll have my breasts removed, or this ozone layer thing is giving me cramps. All these funny things. And he even, like, you could tell this is a guy who's a big fan. The floating head technique, a poorly designed visual element first surfaced in the early 60s, along with the Great Silver Age. This is a guy who knows his influences, which is kind of neat. And we got this funny thing here. So there's a school in Westchester for gifted youngsters or something that I was going to go to. It's, learn to control this power mind, but it's a really bitch to get in there. So I manage on my own. So he's talking X-Men. I mean, this is a guy who likes comics and is just trying to get in there. Who will one day be famous. Let's jump to our $5 section. So anyway, Spunky Todd meets his roommate in college, and he has this line here. what town are you from? Toontown? No, Gotham City. You see, the Bat single broke, so I transferred. So, like, you get these little, like, cheeky things in here. I love this scene. This is a scene where Spunky brings his college roommate to this bar, and he's basically translating, or he's telling his roommate what thoughts he's hearing from the different girls coming in. And you get this cool scene where, hey, we became such good friends that he's the only person that knows my dread secret. So he goes and says, what about her? Gay. Well, what about her? Married. Wait, that one's looking at me. Well, she's wondering if a, mean hippie like yourself is aware that the 60s are over. And that's not that funny, but then we get this next panel where the guy's head grows, and he says, yeah, well, at least my parents aren't cousins. That actually got me. That was, I thought that was pretty funny. So let's jump to our $10 marker here. We get this part where Spunky's not having much luck with the ladies, so his roommate introduces him to this weird gal named Mitosis. And he says, Mitosis, I need to open your mind. And that's a cool shot, right? We're seeing the girl and you see the reflection of the girl, Mitosis, in his glasses. And because she's a sculptor, all we get are her thoughts. She has no words. It's just shapes. And his response is, what the hell? I really like that. And then on the actual date, the sculptor's just like, and in my dream, I was a fish with 3 breasts. And, he's doing this, like, little line down to her thing there. So it's a cute book. It's a cute book. It's interesting how people change in, a few decades. It makes you, you're going to see a few things in here that makes you wonder, wow, could Bendis ever do this today? Or would he even think to? Would he want to? Let's go farther. Here's a great example of this. So there's a scene where Spunky is in his classroom asleep and he's dreaming and he's saying, oh, baby, that feels so good. Giggle. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Oh, Paulina. Zzz. Oh, giggle. Stop it. That tickles. I respect you now. That's what's important. Like, can you imagine the Bendis of 2022 doing something like that? I can't. I don't. I can't imagine that would happen. Let's dig in more. Check this page out. He gets this girlfriend. And his roommate doesn't believe him, of course. But look at this shot. It's kind of cool. And he gets this, like, thing here. Dig the dramatics of this worm's eye view. Kind of cool. And we go in. And we're introduced to this little hottie over here. And the roommate answers the door. And he's like, well, this should be a, oh, my stars and garters. Again, for the you X-Men fans, you know what blue fuzzball this guy is quoting. So I think that's really fun. Let's check this out. We have this part over here where Spunky is hanging out and he's talking about what life lessons we should teach now that the book is almost over. And we get this guy in the My Mutants Are Parents t-shirt, or My Parents Are Mutants t-shirt. It says, how about that with great power comes great responsibility? And that's pretty funny. Because we get in this next part where, his roommate's saying, well, how about school blows and higher education blows harder? And we get towards the end of the book here. And this is really cool. These last few pages are really fun. This guy's over here is reading comic book cop-outs and cliches. And he suggests, how about we use enough said? Guy's like, I don't believe this. And you guys, you weasels like you, ruining the industry. Now get out of here. And it's cool because we get almost a perspective like we're inside the comic book ourselves. And Spunky's like, well, until we meet again, bag it and board it. I'm done. And in the end. So he's kind of like shutting us into the book and putting us in the bag and board is how he finishes it. And you check this out. This right now is February 2022. Right here is an homage to George Perez in 1992. So I think it's just really cool that Brian Michael Bendis is doing this fun thing. He's like, "Dear Mr. Perez, with love and much respect." And he has this little thing, this homage of, what is that, Infinite Crisis number 9, I think, or 7, where Superman's holding a dead Supergirl. So it's pretty cool. And the way he ends this book, you know, he has like this like thank you page, and there's one thing here where he's like, you know, for Beth Goodman, who I know wants to be mentioned, but didn't do a damn thing. I thought that was pretty funny. So this is cool, man. We got words of Bendis, but also pictures of Bendis. And like his art isn't bad. Like, check this out. How cool is that? Got this open mouth and this dripping saliva between the teeth. It's kind of creepy. Kind of makes you wonder what kind, if Bendis had gone a different direction, what kind of books he'd be doing today. But I want to show you guys my favorite part of this book. He's in this like fast food joint, and he's like, "I'd like order of fries." You can see the little bubble here, how it's like ice is dripping off of this, so we get an idea of her personality just from the word bubble. "Can I help you? I'd like to order fries and a packet of barbecue sauce to dip the fries in, please." "I'm sorry, sir, I can't do that. The sauce is for the nuggets." "What? You heard me." It's amazing. "Why are you..." "Listen, I'll pay the extra nickel. Just give me the sauce." "Maybe you didn't hear me." We flip over. "The sauce is for the nuggets." I love that transformation. I think that's really cool. Had nothing to do with the story, but it was fun. So yeah, this is Spunky Todd, the Psychic Boy. I looked at the CGC census, and from what I saw, I don't think anybody's ever submitted this book before. And I think in about a week from when I'm recording this, Bendis has a signing at CGC, and I'm going to send this book in. How often do you get a book that's written and illustrated by the same guy that you get signed and slabbed? So I'll have maybe the first slabbed CGC book of Spunky Todd ever. That could be a really good decision. Maybe I'm really smart, and maybe it's a bad move, and I'm really dumb. But either way, kind of cool. Anyway, I love your comments. Like, subscribe. See you next time.